Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Herbert Backhausen. I'm a Senior Solution Architect here with AKA. And today I want to talk to you about Microsoft Lifecycle Services, which is the solution that Microsoft uses to optimize your application lifecycle. I've put together a little agenda and I wanted to introduce it to you. First, I'd like to talk about what Lifecycle Services is, what personas are included that we address with Lifecycle Services, why Microsoft created Lifecycle Services and the feedback that Microsoft received that fed into the creation of these services. Then we're going to take a look into the services and the platform, the functionality that's listed in there and that is valid for the different personas. I will give you a brief outlook on the roadmap as it develops in the near future, and then I'm going to show you a little demonstration of Lifecycle Services. So the goals of Lifecycle Services, or LCS, is to deliver the right information at the right time to the right people, and to present a repeatable, predictable success with each rollout of an implementation, update, or upgrade. It helps speed implementations, lower total cost of ownership, and help customers realize business value faster, all while helping to deliver amazing customer experiences. Microsoft has aligned the application lifecycle management model with that of One Microsoft, which is broken down into three phases: define, develop, and operate. This is somewhat different than the 5 phases we have used in the past: the analyze, design, develop, deploy, and maintain. Microsoft is shifting to this new model to help align more with the Visual Studio team's application lifecycle management. So for Lifecycle Services, we believe there are 4 personas that will benefit the most from either a customer or a partner. And these are the project manager. They own the project workspace, manage the projects themselves and the timeline and the resources, and invite into the various projects the employees, customers, and partners they want. Please remember, Lifecycle Services is a customer-owned workspace. You decide who you want to invite into or to have access to a project. There is no limit on the number of projects you can create in Lifecycle Services or the number of members in a project. Next up is the business analyst. They do a lot of requirements gathering and modeling of the business processes. The time to value is very important for a business analyst. The developer, well, Microsoft wants to help automate as much of the process as they can for them and help them to repeatedly be able to deliver high quality customizations that deliver amazing customer experiences, increase uptime, and make the experience of upgrading as simple as possible. Last but not least is the IT admin. Microsoft wants to help them simplify the running of Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3 by proactively monitoring the system and highlighting or calling out areas that are recognized as being easier to correct now than fix later. We also want to make it easy for them to find the solutions to problems they have and shorten the time to resolution of any problems they might have. So these are the 4 roles that either be in your organization or in our organization or both working together that could benefit of Microsoft Lifecycle Services. So when Microsoft created Lifecycle Services, they did a lot of research, talked to people, talked to customers, get feedback of better solutions, and refined the system. So a lot of this is around documentation of the business processes, to get best practices easier into the business, faster cycle time, and issue search. So a lot of areas where people repeatedly came to Microsoft and said, can you help us with that? So let's take a deeper look at each role, each persona, and how this persona can benefit of Lifecycle Services. So let's start with the first two. Well, the project manager that are both impacted by the defined portion, I have to say. So for the project manager, they manage the customer-owned collaborative workspace, which is a key foundation to Lifecycle Services. It's not just you implementing AX or us implementing AX. It's a collaborative effort. We all need to work together, share information. So the project managers can leverage the coming integration with SureStep methodology to help simplify even the process of implementing AX 2012 R3. For the business analysts, Business Process Modeler is one of the key tools they have, along with Task Recorder. I know some of you have seen the Task Recorder in the past, as it was in AX 2009 and earlier version of AX 2012, but now the Task Recorder is even beefed up to really work in conjunction with Lifecycle Services. So the business analysts, they gather details to model different processes and procedures within the organization, which they help them estimate the usage they will be making of Dynamics AX 2012 R3, not only for the client access licenses or CALs, whose different levels of access require different level of CALs. License size estimator, that's a component of Lifecycle Services, suggests the number of CALs that might be needed based on the user's information from Business Process Modeler, as well as Users Profiler, which helps identify peak usage periods to make it easier to understand the potential load on the system and how you might be able to reschedule some processes to alleviate the higher traffic, which could result in better throughput and response times that translate into delivering amazing customer experiences. Infrastructure estimate, whose results are built out from the information in Users Profiler, can help estimate the number and size of different systems, including AOS servers, SQL servers, and SharePoint services, to help your implementation run more efficiently and achieve higher uptimes. Now let's take a look into what I just talked about. So when you log into Lifecycle Services, you see in a new process, new project, a quick overview of your status. You have access to the tools. You have collaborative environment where you can share tasks, share reported problems and bugs. And so what you see here is access to the project plan, what are the team members, what documents are shared, and you see the different phases of an implementation. Now, if you go into the projects, then you will have, and that's something that is currently built out and comes in very near future, links to SureStep artifacts. So you know what is the project health, where is the status, what are the goals, what are the gaps, etc. So everything you need to monitor and manage your project. I mentioned earlier license sizing estimator. So that gives you a good idea of what kind of client access license or CALs you need. As you probably be aware of, there are different levels of CALs, and these are the enterprise, the functional, the tasks, and the self-service. And some of them don't need any. So if you have a customer portal, for example, the customers that dial in through the portal, they don't need any license. Okay? So you can see by the roles within each department of what it breaks down to in number of CALs that you need. It also, and which I also mentioned earlier, the usage profiler that gives you real-time insight into your scenarios. If you run your business the way as you planned with modeling, then these are the peak times of your workload. So you'll be able to directly see when you should take some load off and when you can add some more load to not impact your business. And also give you information of what is the hardware that you need to support your business. How many servers do I need? What kind of CPUs and how many cores you need? What is the RAM site that is suggested? Through the history of Dynamics AX, Microsoft collected a lot of data from customers and uses this experience to give you advice of what it would take to run your operations, your business as smoothly as possible. Also, you're able to host these environments on Azure in the cloud. So you can deploy even multiple R3 environments in Azure. You can do this for testing, for developing, but you can also use this for disaster recovery. So you could technically run R3, AX 2012 R3 on-premise, but then have in the cloud on Azure a disaster recovery environment that is kept up to date. Now, for the business analyst, we mentioned earlier the business process modeler. Lifecycle Services already comes with standard business processes included from the APQC. Sorry about that. So, in these models, you can tweak, you can change. We realize every business is different. So here you can model your own business processes. And that helps you, with the documentation of your processes, your analysis of the processes, your reporting of the gaps, because if you make changes to the model, the system keeps track of this and records this and put this in a nice fit gap document that helps you to analyze what would it take for me to get the system changed or tweaked so that it totally reflects my business. Coming to the developer, for the developer, they also would use the business process modeler and the gap analysis report that it can create and push that into Visual Studio Online, which is the cloud-based version of Team Foundation Server, to manage the necessary code changes. Cloud-hosted environments could let them deploy the various environments they would need prior to production. They would use Rapid Start to quickly configure AX instances. They would also use customization analysis services, which analyzes your code and compares it against best practices to find and suggest places that you could increase the quality of your code and you reduce the impact and burden that upgrading can cause if you are not following best practices. With upgrade analysis, they upload their AOD files and get a report that highlights the areas where they will need to make changes so they can understand the impact of the upgrade and how much work it would be. So again, they would use the business process modular to help them with the necessary steps for their development, include their development efforts into the modeler. They would look at publishing information to SureStep. They would be able to access Rapid Start to use their code, their processes, and be able to push this through Rapid Start into AX and configure AX the way you want it to behave. And then the analysis services are really services that run through the new code and highlight exceptions, highlight issues, and brings up suggestions of where can you improve the code to make better performance. So you have not only that, but also get complete reporting there. So if you want to create from, let's say, AX40 or 2009 to 2012, what does it take? We realized that in the past, a lot of companies had made changes and customizations to AX4.0 or to AX 2009. Now, if they move to 2012, which has way more functionality than these previous versions, now where are the overlaps? Where are areas that can be better handled with out-of-the-box AX 2012 than with customized 2009? This service here provides you all the insight that you need to make these kind of decisions. As for the system administrator, he's in charge with keeping the system up and running, and there are where the proactive qualities of system diagnostics can really help. By periodically gathering SQL system data and comparing it against built-in rules, system diagnostics shows the results in an easy to understand and use dashboard that highlights where there could be issues, makes suggestions on how to fix them, and even helps connect you to the right knowledge base articles. Then there's issue search that allows them to search a Microsoft database to quickly find knowledge base articles, hot fixes, fixes in progress, and workarounds for reported issues in Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012. You can see the code level changes made in a hotfix and see as well as understand the impact it will have to your system before you download and install it. Cloud-powered support helps speed the logging of a support issue and gives you the option to automatically spin up a collaborative virtual machine in a Microsoft data center based on their own system configuration, either when the issue is logged or afterwards if necessary. And the cloud-based update installer will analyze your installation and then only recommend the additional updates from CUs that you need based on what patches and KBs you have already installed. Let's take a look. So there's a whole monitoring environment and a dashboard that runs against your SQL server, your AX database, etc., and gives you clear insight where are some issues, how can you fix these. So you directly get a visual, you can have access to hot fixes. Okay, now I have an issue. And I look into the knowledge database, and there is a hotfix that could solve this. So I can look at the changes and compare this with my current code. And if I deem, hey, that would work with my current code and would fix my issue, I can directly download the hotfix and apply it. Okay. So then, if you need hardware sizing help, this will help you. Or if you report an issue, you can spin up very easily a virtual machine on Azure and then see if the issue that you want to report can be replicated in the standard AX. So in that case, you also work very collaborative with Microsoft support on finding the issue and determining what would be the best solution to fix it. So we have these 4 personas that are part of the core implementation team. We understand that there are a lot of other players, key stakeholders in the process that participate, but these 4 personas, whether it's on your side as a customer or our side as a partner, work very heavily with this system. But other could also participate, could provide input, make suggestions, etc., to make sure that everything works smoothly. So let's take a look at what's coming up in the near future. There are things like issue resolutions, which I just talked about, where you report issues, get resolutions, and work over the cloud together with support. Then full life support of R3, which is now already done since R3 is in general availability. And I will point this out to you once I go into the live system. So then more automation around project methodology, more best practice within the project workspace, then the Azure deployment, integration into Rapid Start. So these are a few things that are coming very shortly after R3 is in GA, which it got, I think, in May 1st this year. So there are a lot of things looking forward to. Okay, let's have a look at Lifecycle Services. So there are different Lifecycle Services. Me as a partner, I only have access to a learning project. You as a customer looks a little bit different because it goes directly through the implementation processes. But this here is all where it starts and where we collaborate. So we have our project plan. Oh, let me log into here again. So you have your project plan, when you start, where you expect to end the project. You have your team of people. Right now it's just myself, but you can add more people to the project, change the role of the people that you have invited. Right now I'm the project owner, and you have here the role management where these roles, different roles are defined. Project team member, project owner, project contributor. So this is here the role, what the role can do. in this case. We have documents here that we can share. So and these are linked to other documents on a website, on other websites, or to a SharePoint server. You just click here, and in this case here would take me to a TechNet article here, just to show you an example. From the settings, this is just highlighting the name of the project, so it's nothing miraculous there. What's interesting is the bugs here and the issues. So I have here a work item defined, and I can assign them to certain people. Right now it's only me in the project, so it's assigned to myself, but I can assign it to somebody else. Then I have a risk defined, and we can get to this risk here in a moment where this comes into play. So if I look into, and I skipped this earlier on purpose here, the summary here, I can see an overview on the project. I'm on track, part of the implementation cycle. I see my bugs and issues. I have my key wins, in this case my board approval. I have a certain checklist that I need to go through in order to move forward in the process step, and I can define these checklist items. 4 of them I've already completed. Then I can list risks and mitigations. And risk, oops, let me scroll a little bit down here, can have different severities. So I have a directly overview of the status of my project. And I can go through the different phases here. So here you see my checklist, and you see down here I can edit the checklist and add some more. And I have here my certain areas where I can tab into: rapid start, issue search. So I can go in here in issue search and directly type in issue and say, what do I have for capable to promise? Then I see here there have been 24 reported issues with capable to promise, and there are 20 of them are resolved. 2 were by design, the way that it's supposed to work, and 2 were workarounds. So you can go in here and take a look at the fixes here. See, and here view the changes, download the hotfix, etc. So, and it describes what happened here. Okay. We mentioned earlier you have your business process modeler. And as you can see here, I can have my own libraries. I have corporate libraries that I can upload, and I have global libraries. In this case, we have standard business processes, best practice from APQC here for R3. Now, this sales order library is something that I created personally through Lifecycle Services, through Task Recorder. So I went through the steps of a sales order entry, recorded the steps in the Task Recorder, and the Task Recorder creates artifacts that you can upload to Lifecycle Services. And these artifacts now create visual diagrams that you can change, make changes to, adjustments, add new components in here. You have a complete description of this. You have a little video that is attached that shows you the steps that I performed to record this. Mhm. But we delivering with Lifecycle Services a whole set of business processes that you can use as a starting point. So in here you have best practices, in this case for manufacturing, and you can see here how you can go from process category through process group, through the process to the individual activity, like developing a baseline forecast. What does it take? So these are the business steps on how to do this with a video. Now, that is really important if you need to document your processes, document your system. Let's say you might have an audit or you need to be in compliance. Then it's easy to point out to your business processes. You have the complete documentation, and any auditor could go through and see, yes, you are in compliance, the system works as designed. So you have this here for your industry, and you can use these to model. And if you make changes to the business processes and make customization, then the system can automatically then create a fit gap analysis document that would highlight what does it take to make these adjustments, make these customizations. So then we have our usage profiler. There's not much in here since this is here my demo system. You saw screenshots earlier in the slide deck what it would look like. So you would upload your business processes and the system would analyze these processes and will give you a report on how you best arrange your processes, like batch processes at night at certain times in reports, etc. Rapid start is coming. The connection, you see the button already here. Then the cloud-hosted environments are in beta, although you could already, with your Azure subscription, good go and host an environment here. I want to spend a little bit of time in the license sizing estimator. So the way you model this is you go in here and you go and first your general setting, what are my number of employees, what are number of vendor users that I want to have, and then add your departments. So which departments do I want to have, human resource, etc. And pick those that you need, and it will line up here your picked department. Then you would add roles. In this case, I have added a receiving clerk. I could enter I have 2 quality clerks in here, and you can see directly here, receiving clerk this role is deemed as a task user, whereas the quality control clerk is a functional user. And I can dive into here and see, okay, what are the duties that a quality control clerk typically does? And you see how each of these duties is associated with a CAL level. A task, functional, might be enterprise. And the highest CAL level here of these duties determine the CAL level required for this particular role. Well, you could say, okay, these 2 quality control clerks actually, they don't do maintain the instances of non-conformance or inquire into quality control master or approve quality inspections or maintain quality inspections or maintain inventory status changes. If I save this now, see now the quality control clerk is deemed a task user. So through this, I add my roles. I add a sales manager, for example. I have one sales manager in here. He's an enterprise user, and so on. Once I'm done, I click on report and the system spews out a nice report highlighting how many licenses do I need per different cal level, give you a graph, etc. So that gives you a good idea of what kind of user licenses you need in order to run your business. So we already looked into issues search. The last thing I just want to point out is RFP responses. We can upload, we can manage your RFP questions. The list is here, so that makes it easier for us to answer your question that might arise on what kind of functionality you need for your business. So this is Microsoft Dynamics Lifecycle Services. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope it was informative for you, and I hope that you have the time and look at all the other webinars we have listed on our website, which is www.akaes.com. Thanks a lot. Again, my name is Herbert Backhausen, and see you next time. Bye.